What have you been thinking about, Beena? That's what I woke up and I thought, what has Beena been thinking about? Hold on one second now. Listening to a podcast that Miles did that he co-hosts, and let me just put an end to it. They're talking about narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of curious to see how it went because just
Mm-hmm. So, how it went?
no, it's okay, it's all good. I'm just fascinated at how people do things, and it's kind of, I'm trying to find a quick way to say it. Um, how they essentially deliberately ignore what it's is awkward for them to deal with. So, you would think just we have a little bit of a relationship, we have good connection, we have everything. It's like, man, you think you'd invite me to at least listen to the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm co-hosting a podcast. This is exciting, come follow, spread the word. I don't know, nothing, no mention
Ah.
of it at all. I find out indirectly, yes, it's on his Instagram, it's all there, but still, just
Hmm.
very interesting. So, and then, I think the second episode is co-hosting with somebody, and the second episode is about narcissism, and it's like, hello, Miles, and they have
Like
some guest that they have on who's talking about it, and it's like, it's like, hey, we have a book on this, you know that, right? But anyway, it just fascinates me. He doesn't. He's very awkward, and when he was here too, he was very awkward about this, about how to deal with me. Yes, he's acknowledged me a couple of times in the inner circle and on the Zooms and all that, but it's a problem for him, And now he's on that. He's a what did he say? Self love, self awareness coach or something like that. And it's like, yeah, all right, you got some stuff going on, but I don't know.
Mm. Yeah.
He understands much stuff, and he's I don't know, to be in that space just the way he is in such a quick jump. It's like you think you've solved your own problem now. You have this ability to now suddenly solve everybody else's. I don't know. It just there's a problem with it. So it's a little concerning for me. But anyway, it's like it's such a mess with all of his stuff going on. I'm kind of pleased in it's just the universe helping me out in a sense because I tried to be a little bit involved and be supportive there, but he doesn't want it. And fair enough. He's got to find his own thing. He's in an unusual spot. Okay, you in
Mm.
a new situation, you new going on it. But I spoke to him about this, and some of the other people like Connie. I don't know if you met Connie. We did that interview together. She hasn't really
Oh
been on
yes.
Zoom. She hasn't been on Zoom anyway. But that Connie. And she's psychotherapist, does workshops, retreats, and this. But she'll talk about her guide, her what does she call it? Uh, yeah, I think she says her guide or something like that. Her mentor. I don't know. Her
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But she references them a lot, and you can go and look that person up and connect to them. Yes, they tend to have very few people that they connect to, and you know, kind of like me, I guess. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they you can go and connect directly with them. Connie doesn't try and hide it or minimize it or keep it all to herself. And she talks about this very openly because she gets a lot of value and help there, and it doesn't affect what she does. I think people kind of realize and are aware, even if not directly, they know that not everybody connects with everybody, and especially people that are like starting on a path. If you say, okay, and I've got my mentor, my teacher, that's what Connie says, my teacher, she calls her. They sort of realize that there's a layeredness to things, and you connect where you at and what works for you, which
Uh-huh.
but it makes more sense. Some more entry level, and then you get more sophisticated advanced stuff. It's like people feel intuitive. I don't actually think it's accurate, by the way, how they feel like that, but nonetheless, They do. And so, they feel like they have to get the entry level stuff and it's too advanced for them, all this stuff. No, it's not, man. Anybody can learn anything, but I get it. I do get it. It's just fascinating to me. Um, the whole cockeyedness of it all, in other words. So Cher said she might come on today. I'm very curious to hear what's happened in terms of, like, are there no more Zoom sessions? In Discord they have I don't know what they call them, different tags or rooms, I guess. Different places where you post different stuff, and they have a place for the Zoom schedules and meetings, but I haven't seen anything. So just very curious. What's going on? And then
Okay.
Cher made videos, and she was talking about where she had a problem with somebody. So I'm kind of curious to hear about that too, because uh, in sorry, Miles messaged me a while back now. I don't know, a week or two, I guess. Seems like a long time ago. And when I was on the Facebooks, supposedly, somebody, it's come to my attention, he says. I have to
Uh-huh.
read the post. But anyway, the bottom line is that somebody said to him that my interactions in those Zooms is making them feel unsafe, sorry. And I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even discuss it with Miles. I just said, yeah, absolutely not. And, I just said, no, this is, it's no worries, no problem. I just minimized it, in other words. So somebody came and, I that if I'm making somebody feel unsafe, this can only be an ego issue, because if they, yes, as I said a few other things, but anyway, it's a long story and I don't want to go into it. But if you're pushing that unsafe, this is ego, narcissism, manipulation bullshit, because that's the one thing that most assuredly, would not make anyone do is feel unsafe. Even if I'm saying more than in a couple of the Zooms, I said more than I normally did or would, or but more maybe than no, even not. Others talk a lot more than me, so I don't know. There was a cockeyedness to it, but here's the point: somebody's deliberately focusing on that unsafe thing because they don't want me there, because obviously it's making them, out of the spotlight. So this is an ego manipulation issue. And, I'll get back to him at some point and said, look, you got to watch out for whoever gave you that bullshit line. They're looking to focus on getting me out of it. And they're going to get anybody that has some ego issue with them, they're going to get out of. And so I want to hear from, I'm keen to hear from Cher who she was struggling with, because I assume it's the same thing. And, those people are like cancers, they be amends essentially, and they keep working at stuff and they keep showing things, because there's a lot of things you could say about me that aren't cool and whatever if you really want to make some, but don't say unsafe. That's if somebody truly was feeling unsafe because of me, then this is somebody who's in need of very serious personal attention, and they're going to have a problem with pretty much anybody at some point. So I can't see that as being a realistic real thing. It'll be interesting to see what comes eventually from it. But now it doesn't matter because all the Zooms have just gone away. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening. But again, I kind of think, it's such a mess. Why do I bother really? Um, you know, uh, except for there's other people still involved that, and they sort of sitting with their fingers up their bums, not knowing what the hell's going on with it. And it's just this mess. So it'll be interesting to see. Be interesting to see. Yeah. Just fascinating how, in other words, it comes back down to ego again, and not being able to resolve the problem. And this was a problem when Miles was, I asked him specifically, how is it that you are going to connect with me or acknowledge me or relate to me or whatever. He didn't really have an answer for it. So fascinating. Everybody wants to be a guru except me. I've never had that desire. It's like, what the hell, man? Why is this such a thing for people? I don't know.
Okay. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm coming.
Say again? Oh,
I'm just coming in 2 minutes.
Oh, sure, no problem, no problem. Ah, come on now, man.
Okay.
Brilliant, 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 brilliant. I'm
So
fascinated by stuff, Beena. I'm fascinated by stuff.
you have such a big heart. You have such a big heart that you didn't consider it. Okay. I'm struggling with my
No,
voice. Okay.
I
Yeah.
realize the cockeyedness. I do. I understand it, and it's all good. I mean, it's complicated, and Miles wants to be his own thing and find his own way, and that's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Perfectly fine if a person wants to lead his own life. It is good, but it doesn't have to do anything with not being uh, not being impeccable.
Oh,
Yes,
I
I want
agree.
to lead
I
my
agree,
life.
and that's the
Yeah.
thing.
So when
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know, my intuition was just again, it was right. I was not feeling comfortable with
Oh yeah.
him
Right.
from the very
You
first. Yes.
saw that, and
No.
that's
No.
what's here, and that's the interesting thing. He all throughout the time he spent here with us, he was very concerned about. Yes, is he doing this for legitimate reasons or for self-importance reasons? And yes, there are legitimate reasons, and I focused on those and emphasized those. But there is also some self-importance reasons to it, obviously, and he struggles. He's really trying to balance it, and
Okay.
and
We
this is
all
a big
do
thing.
struggle. We
Yeah.
all do struggle at some point, but like always, the ego is always there, so the struggle is always there. It's okay. Uh, I don't feel anything bad about this. That if a person is struggling with, struggle means that he or she wants to improve that. So it's okay. Yes, my ego is always very high, so I feel that, oh no, Veena, just calm down. You need to deal with that. Don't do that. And sometimes my ego just push me, Veena, do that, do that, do that. It happened. But ego is a different thing. Being mean is a different thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And here's the thing, though.
Yeah,
Where the issue comes in, it's about the choices that you make. You know,
yeah.
that's the problem. And yeah, he's making choices which you know he has access to a resource. You know, for instance, I invite them to every single Zoom session. Where I do the whole long email. All the names of all the people. He's never attended one, or his father,
Yeah.
which is fascinating to me. Why not? Why do you now think suddenly that you've been here for 8 days and you like, oh, I've got this?
Oh yes, that
Right.
this is the thing.
Yeah. So that's one problem right there. The second thing is, use me as a resource for just discussing stuff, and you know uh, that's there's value in it. But no, because then they'd have to acknowledge, you see, and you're saying stuff, and yes, you use the terminology and the language and all that, which I said go ahead and use with pleasure. But at the same token, I said, you don't need to acknowledge me or anything like that. But at least then be sure that you are using it, in the way that it actually means to be used.
So,
Kind of
mhm.
know what it's about. So I don't know. There's just lots of kindness. Just
Okay,
so I
okay.
do think that there is. He wants to hold on to uh, him being the main source of things. And this is very important. In other words, like he's the influencer. That's what they call him on Twitter and
Oh
Instagram,
yes,
social media.
social
Right,
influence.
exactly. And that's what that's kind of why I said, I'm perceived as this influencer on I don't even think he said perceived. I am an influencer on Instagram. That's how he's connecting and identifying, and this is what he's clinging to, because and that's the problem when you cling to stuff like that. It uh, it's a bit problematic because um, you make yourself a little bit hollow, or at least unstable. You make yourself you compromise yourself, I should say, because you don't feel like it has depth and validity. So now you're looking to artificially gain what you have. Rather focus on fleshing out the core values of you want. In other words, in all this time that I've known him, and it's been a couple of months now, he could have been, on Zoom every day, really fleshing out his ability to be an actual influencer instead of just having it based on, the little bits of stuff that he's got. He's basically become a one-trick pony now. And yeah, this is what I was hearing. He was well, he's, in his words, he had a book called, whatever, Confessions of a Fuckboy or something like that. So he was a full-on narcissist, and this is what happened in his relationship. His girlfriend called him a narcissist, and for once with a narcissist that actually stuck, it really it connected to him. He really felt it. So he wants to be sure that he isn't one. Um, and he's making legitimate work on that. But at the same token, make that effort to really fill out. Now, anyway, so I'm saying, so when he goes on all these shows, this is his story. He was this way, and then he ended up in this depressive suicide, and from this he kind of came through that, and now he's, I don't know if he uses the word awakened, but I think he has. So now he's kind of, this is it. And so now he's like in a different space, and, this is his story. So, just that whole thing, he's kind of come to see the light and realize it. But that doesn't mean that just because you've realized that you were a knucklehead and a fool before, and you've got some insights into yourself, it's just a start. You see what I mean? So, I don't know. It's a bit
yeah. It was just a start, and he assumed that now he already reached there. It was just a start of a journey. But it's okay. It's okay.
And there's a lot of stuff that he can share and say. I mean, he is very connected to. I mean, he is insightful, and he is a very smart guy. But again, build it on something, flesh it out. Don't just assume that and be on the little bits here, little bits there. I see, like when he did the Zooms and stuff, how it kind of imploded because you've got a little bit to add, and then people are looking to you, and then you don't provide more, and then the thing just falls apart. So you jump from one thing to another, and he's doing all sorts of different stuff. And he calls that the bridge, the world's most. I got to read this. I don't know. I just find I'm a bit concerned in terms of not the ego, really, actually the rationality. And this is actually a concern. Hold on, where is he now? Yeah, here we go. So actually, maybe there's something else that puzzles me, and now that I think about it, I'll share with you in a moment. Yeah, I just want to get this. Here we go. Founder of the world's most sacred, invite-only self-development community. It doesn't say what the name is, just that. Now, you see what
is this? Say it again.
Okay, Miles Scott. This is on Instagram. Yeah, I'll show you. Let me go screen share. I don't know if you're on Instagram or not. I'm assuming not, yeah?
Oh, yes, I am, but I'm not using that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get it. I don't know. See why it's so popular. I don't get the logic of it. It's just, anyway. So, yeah, Miles Scott, it's his introduction, founder of the world's most sacred, invite-only self-development community, co-founder LA Coco Company, which is a new thing, and co-host Heaven with Vida. And I don't know what info and work with me. Oh, this is his bio. So anyway, but this is the bridge thing that used to be the accountability lab. That's what he's talking about here, right? Now, if you say most sacred, that just right there puts you into the religious category, no? Doesn't it?
Interesting. Oh, yes.
Doesn't that imply that?
Yes.
And most sacred, the world's most sacred. I mean, right there, that's like, how the fuck do you know? Yeah, how do you know it's the world's most sacred?
Okay.
It's that hyperbole, and I don't know. It's a
Okay.
disconnect. It's a logical disconnect. Beside which, he doesn't say the name of it here. It's like, okay, how do I? You just like, it doesn't make any logical sense from even a marketing point of view.
Hmm.
Are people going to message you and say, "Oh, how can I get into this invite only thing?" I bet you a lot of people will never do that because, wow, it's the world's most sacred invite only. It's like, how do I get in? And they don't feel they have a confidence to approach, so they just won't do anything. So, I don't know. Just it's very weird. But I do think though he does some drugs and psychedelics and stuff every now and then. And this is what I've seen with people who do this. They have these logical disconnects. I used to call it holes in the brain when we had the stores in Santa Cruz because we had lots of employees who had done lots of drugs and they might not have been doing them so much before, but you could see the effects on them. They were like heavy into it at one point, and the the alcoholics have a different brain kind of function to the the guys who smoke dope or people who smoke dope, and then the psychedelics, and that they have a very different effect on the brain again. And actually,
Uh-huh.
there was a scientist who did brain scans, 3D images of brains of people
Uh-huh.
like that. And as you know, this was long after I used to say this to people, but the alcoholics' brains literally look shriveled, like pickled. It was fascinating. The I forget what marijuana worked, but anyway, I remember the people with the psychedelics. Their brains looked like they had Swiss cheese, and so I always used to tease them, say, "Got holes in your brain," because they would talk, and there would be a jump, and not an intuitive jump, but it's like when you hear audio, and it's cutting out and there's parts missing, and that's it. That's how they would just jump, assuming that what they've said was said, and they hadn't said it, and to them there was no gap. They didn't realize
Hmm.
they hadn't said it.
Hmm.
And it's like this logic is very similar here. He's kind of assuming that people kind of know what he's talking about and it makes sense, but it doesn't really. So it's kind of in that disconnect situation a little bit. It's just fascinating to me. So now that I think of it, this is the thing. So, and these cacao ceremonies, the same thing. It's also it's a drug connected thing. I mean, not that they are, but they use the cocoa leaf and they go into it. So same kind of logic in a sense.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
just yeah, it's just that's but this sacred only. Hold on one second. Let me see something. I'll show you what I mean. Uh, where's this going? It's a lot of idea, and the idea is not really the reality. I mean, yes, I love great ideas, and they all great, but you have to really make an effort to get those ideas to translate into stuff. He started with the accountability lab, and yes, it was sort of a good idea, but he doesn't think it through. I mean, yes, it got people to it gets them to download this app Habitica, which they still use, and you put in what your habits are you're looking to change, and it sort of reminds you got to do this, you got to do that. You set tasks for the day, and of course it wasn't going to last because people were setting like 10 tasks a day or whatever, like do the and their lives were just becoming these regimented, scheduled things where like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Of course, it's not going to last. Of course, it's going to crash and implode. And it was also a thing where you get rewards, and then it was like, oh, what level are you, and all of this stuff. And it's like, man, if that's your focus, and it's all about levels and hierarchy and stuff, you're looking at a problem. You're looking at a problem, right?
Yeah.
Just
Very
really
interesting.
fascinating to me. Yeah, yeah. So very fascinating. Anyway, I want to show you something, quickly. I'm sorry, I asked you a question when we started, and I'm not getting there. So I'm just trying to find what I'm looking for here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, let me do screen share. So this is the Discord app, which it's very interesting. I mean, it originally it started as a voice communications connectivity for gamers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you can make, you see like all of these on the left hand side here, they
Uh-huh.
hashtags, but they kind of like different rooms. So this is where the people posted their, and this is the one I'm in, the commitment letters. You see members open chat, and what do you call an orange peel with what? Okay, orange juice. Okay, I want to wish all my American friends a good Veterans Day, and that's Cosmic Love with Roberta, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you see like, okay, you're just looking at 38 degrees, and then okay, this is general chat, just just kind of small talk, mindless stuff. So there are other rooms. Okay, wins. You see, they even have a thing for wins, which I don't know. Uh, God's body. I know this whole idea of wins. I just don't. It's counterproductive. So this must. Oh, this is Tara. I took my daughter to breakfast on Friday before school. This was definitely a win for me. It's something we don't do very often. Interaction we exchange was lovely. She was, why does there have to be a win? You know what I mean? I don't know. This whole win logic just, I just, celebrations rather. Why does it have to be a win? A win is relative. A celebration is more absolute. You know what I mean? But this is the sacred space now. What I'm
Oh,
trying to say. Yeah. This is the sacred community. The invite only, the world's most sacred invite only community. Okay. Now, this is in your wins. You would think, I don't know, that from that kind of a contact, I saw God today or something. That's kind of what I would expect. Am I right? That like the world's most sacred.
sacred. Yeah. Okay.
I
Maybe.
mean, I'm not saying it's negative what they're doing here. It's just the disconnect. It's
Yes.
and it's like it's not like okay, spirituality. Let's see. Let's just back up a little bit. Capricorn. Okay, yes, spirituality. Capricorn and Aquarius rising Scorpio. This is spirituality. Seriously, people? Come on now. Really. I know. It just fascinates me. I mean, yes, like we discussed, you can extract value, you can get spiritual value from things, but to say astrology is spiritual in and of itself, wow, that's a whole different deal. I don't know. You see it as spiritual? Maybe it's just me.
People say that. People call this astrology and tarot and other stuff like it is a spiritual stuff. It is not a spiritual, but people use these terms for anything which they feel they can't actually explain.
I know.
Uh,
I know.
they call it spiritual stuff.
Yeah, I
It
know.
is just sometimes lack of
Bye.
vocabulary
Bye.
which makes them.
Bye.
I'm reading right now Olivia's post. Uh, the
So before
inappropriate.
we jump to there, just do you see
Yeah.
all the different hashtags, how many there are here? And how much
Hmm.
there is. I mean, it's just fascinating. I'm just scrolling to the bottom so I get. Here's the app. Batika uploads daily. All the Batika things. I guess nobody posted anything in here. That just all died. You had a good
Hmm.
thing going with the Zoom sessions. This is what I don't understand. The Zoom sessions, people were really enjoying them. They were sharing. There was movement. There was stuff going on. And then it just imploded. And it's just like, yeah, you see Zoom links and check-in times with the Zooms. And,
Mhm.
uh, you know, nothing 10:31. The last one was a Zoom by Roberta that was all about, I don't know, crystals and God knows what else.
Mhm.
You know, not the usual Zoom session, but she canceled it anyway. So well, again, it came up again. I don't know, just all. So that's not even one. Christine had one, and hers was the same thing on her meditation practice, which involved crystals and stuff. And then before that, somebody else had one, which was the last actual kind of one where people were sharing about their personal struggles and stuff that they're dealing with, and the type of chats that we have a bit more. That was starting to become the real Zooms that people were really liking. So and they just killed the whole thing. It's just fascinating to me. It's just like it's all just gone. Mm.
Yeah. But without content, without having some progress, like okay, like right now I'm doing it every single day. When I come here and we discuss things, I found something new, and the second day till this next Zoom session, my mind is uh, continuously working on that and
That that
finding some new things. Just okay, I will discuss this now.
that was my question. That was my question, Beena. That's what I wanted to hear. I said, "What have you been thinking about?" I didn't even ask you how you are or what you chose to feel. I'm
Yeah.
really keen. Like, what have you been thinking about? Because what we talked about yesterday was a lot of stuff that involves real deep reorganization of life, as it were. Yes.
Yes. Yes. And these all these things were just keep hovering in my mind. I can say that.
Right.
And
Before we go into that, sorry, you were talking about
yeah.
Olivia's post.
Oh yes, I saw a post while we were discussing all these things. I just saw Olivia's post, and she posted a very interesting post with a man. Um,
Let me go have a look.
yeah, it is on like 21 hours old post, November 12th. The inappropriate tolerance.
Ah, it's
This
a
is
memory that she shared. Then, all right.
she shared a memory? No.
I would assume so. Or she just she's made that post a bit before. All right, so let me
Okay.
go. Let me go screen share to see which one. I'm on a timeline here. Okay, so it's not this post then. Ah,
No.
dang it, Facebook. Living son, not that one. Not this one. Oh, she got a lot of posts up. Oh, but behind you.
Here's a beautiful one.
Yeah. You see, I don't like it when she's
Yeah, this one. This one.
when it comes down the bottom here. You know what I mean? The inappropriate
Mhm.
tolerance of the phony and the deceitful keeps one mired in the mucking fuddle of fooldom. Oh, sorry. Folly and gross indulgence. All right. So what struck you with this here?
I don't know. First picture that
Yeah.
though this man is actually um, holding down by this rock,
Uh,
but with what he is trying to fly with is not also a reliable thing. It might.
no, and also the no head.
Yes.
So for Olivia,
So.
this is like the empty man, the narcissist, the be a man, not man,
Mhm.
but they people, they're just completely empty. They have no real self. And what they have is this balloon self, really, which of
Hmm.
course it's just all hot air, really. And it's pulling
Hmm.
them up, but, that holds them down at the same token. They can't actually succeed in what they're doing. Um, but she's talking about also her, like us, if we have inappropriate tolerance, the phony and the deceitful will keep us mired in the mucking fuddle of fooldom, folly, and gross indulgence. So, what she means by inappropriate tolerance is if when people come with all their bullshit and nonsense and rubbish, if we don't say, hey, sorry, I want nothing to do with this and not for me, thank you very much. Or like, no, sorry, I can't, that doesn't resonate with me. That's just not something I can subscribe to, or, in some way diplomatically, because we don't have to be negative about it. Just
Yeah.
some way diplomatically say, no, not, that's not, I want nothing to do with this. This is not me. Nope. So, if we tolerate bullshit, in other words, then
Mhm.
we inadvertently condone it. And when we
Yes.
condone it, we become complicit. And this is this rock here. And you also you kind of being hollow and phony yourself because you aren't taking a stance. Now you can just take a stance by disassociating, which is sort of really what I'm doing with Miles in a way. I don't want to write him off, so I don't say I leave it open, but
Yeah.
okay, do your path, dude, and it's fine. I still gonna insist that you're working on your stuff and you're making an effort to figure it out, and you don't really want to be a narcissist, because I really do feel it really does bother him. It's a very big deal. So I don't cut it off, but at the same token, I also see how you are pushing stuff, and it's hollow. You know that you don't have a full command over the stuff that you are claiming that you have some command over. You know, so
Hmm.
it's all idea that's not really manifesting really into the reality. I mean, like I said, here's this idea of the sacred invite only. You had a good thing going. All you needed to do was just tweak it that little bit, and just keep it going as a self-development community. But now it became most sacred, and okay, I understand invite only, fine, but leave that up, just a self-development community. Why say invite only? You're just limiting people to it. you know you can then say, okay, the bridge, you know uh,
What it means by invite only?
that you can't join it freely. You have to be invited to join it,
Okay. Okay.
which makes it, it's somewhat sort of special, I guess, in a way. But what's the point of telling me that it's invite only? You see what I'm saying? If I'm
Yes.
just a regular
Yes.
person, if it's invite only, why tell me?
Yeah.
All you're letting me know is that I'm excluded from something.
Yes.
It just, it's, and again, look at what it is too. You know, if somebody really were to, and nobody new has joined this that I've seen, what they were sort of already in the inner circle. I haven't seen any new people come in. So whatever's going on, you had a good thing going that you could have just let run and keep that momentum going. And I really, when I was talking to the people that are now still in the bridge, right, the core group that he has, which are his, I don't know, admin, or they have tasks, and God, it's like a whole they had a meeting with minutes and all of, very very official business like type of a thing. And 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 I connected with them to say, hey, you know what, what are the tools, what are the underlying core conceptions, the fundamentals that's making the Zoom sessions work. Erica made a nice takeaway, and there were more of them, but that just all fell apart too, because they also didn't take it any further. But there was no real need to, because the whole Zoom thing was falling apart because of lack of leadership from Miles. Why he kind of like, it's not that he actively did it, but he was already not participating in the Zooms, and he's getting people to lead the Zooms. Okay, I said, don't use the word lead, host or facilitate, which they kind of did. They started to switch to that. But if you're not participating, you're going to have the stuff just fall apart. And if you're not giving people direction in any, anyway, I don't know. I'm just a little sad at this. I don't know why it bothers me. It's just weird. I mean, he really had the thing going really nicely, and then it just like all imploded. It's like, man, what a waste.
You know that it is for me right now. Uh, it is actually the start of his journey, because
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
when these things will, God forbid, I don't want this, but it seems like that it might fall apart. And when these things fall apart,
Yeah.
then he will go back again. And
Yeah.
then because he is a person who try to search, try to understand things, so
Oh,
he
yeah.
will go back again,
Oh, yeah.
and then he will rebuild all these things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that it is a start. It
Oh,
happens
I agree.
sometimes.
I agree. I agree. So I that's why I'm saying uh, I'm not negative about it. I see the longer term thing of it. I just, man, just the waste of it. But then again, I suppose it's sort of a necessary process.
But you are right about you. If you are feeling something about this, you are right, because it's about ethics. It's simply about ethics.
Yeah,
So
that
that's it.
that is the bottom line of it. That he didn't make this resolution. It's not that I need the acknowledgement, and I absolutely don't. And I'm even uncomfortable with it. but he needs to figure out a way how
Yes.
to relate himself and acknowledge it and put it into context. And this is now you're just living a lie. You're pushing something which is, I mean, the world's most sacred and all this. It's like, dude, this isn't even real, man. And you know that on the level of the discussions relative to what you had when we were interacting, when he was here for the 8 days, it's not even in the same world, but yet you are trying to come from that position. So there is stuff more out there, and you are pushing this as the pinnacle. No, don't say it's the pinnacle, the most sacred. Just say this is it's a self-development community of, for those that are coming out of relationships and are looking. Define it for where you at, but don't look to be something that you're not yet. And come into it and say, hey, you know what? The universe put me on this path, and I never sought to be a life coach. I just sought to share my experiences. But it's he does seek the limelight to some extent, because his thing started with him being on a reality TV show. And this is where his following comes from. Now, okay, his depression and his suicidal attempt and all that was a big part of the whole thing also. I don't know if that came, I think it came after that, but nonetheless, he's been put on a path by the universe in a way. Say, I'm not looking for this, but I've been put on this path, and I didn't mean to do it specifically, or even if I did, I kind of sought celebrity and limelight and all that, and it's put me in a direction that I didn't expect to go. Be real about that. Was his whole thing, was about being vulnerable and real. Yes, he shared a lot of vulnerable and real stuff, and that was what really uh, makes his Instagram thing, when he shares the posts there, was that, and I warned him about this very specifically. I said, Miles, what made you, you can be heart-led and vulnerable and still be the strongest motherfucker okay. He says, those who struggle with forgiveness, these are, let me just share with you, yeah. Because you can see those who struggle with forgiveness actually struggle with understanding. And then if you look at the post itself, he has this one line here, and then he has a longer thing, and he's giving, he's essentially making a post about how they sound familiar, simply asking yourself. And I said to him, don't get into this telling mode. Share your story. Share how you learn. Now, he did it somewhat a little bit, and then he went into this, giving advice.
Uh,
Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know why this has come up. I don't know what sparked this in me. I guess I was
okay.
just going through my windows, and I just clicked on his thing and just caught up. I haven't looked at his thing for a little while, so I guess that's why.
No, it is absolutely appropriate for you to see where he is going, because you were the facilitator for him
Yeah, yeah,
at the time, and he got these things. But okay,
yeah. I'm invested in him. In other words, yeah,
yeah, and it's okay. It's okay if he's trying to do things in a different way, because right now, if I see myself before before March, okay,
mm.
or before April, I can say that most probably. Um, Before April 2019. Uh, I
Oh, you dropped off right there. I was just about to tell you how wonderful you are. You dropped off right as I was going to say, Beena, you're so in my heart, really.
if I was saying that if I look at myself before April 2019, I'll see that for me, life coach is a term in itself, and an idea or something like wow. If people could have access to these people, and if I can also, that
Mm.
my life would be changed and everything. I was not actually aware or conscious of what life coach means is,
Right.
but Now, when I read this word or these term, and just even hear this term, I feel like, oh man, why coach? Coaches are for horses, and why for me? I don't want any coach in my life, and
Eh,
so
yeah,
because see, the perception has changed now,
yeah.
and I don't want to be a life coach for anyone, and I don't want any life coach in my life. Uh, okay, on my Facebook, I used to dedicate my on Teachers' Day. On Teachers' Day, they are the International Teachers' Day every year.
Ah,
We
nice.
celebrate,
Yeah, yeah.
and I dedicate to all my FB friends every single year. I was doing that because I truly believe that these are the people who taught me
Oh,
like
yeah.
so much, and I always mention their name, and they say, "Beena, we learned a lot from you," and I said, "No, but okay, if you say so, but for me, I was I am still at the receiving end, and I'm getting so much from you guys." And they actually sometimes they laugh, they feel, and they say, "Wow, it is surprising that you are dedicating us a teachers happy Teachers Day," and I dedicate to all my FP friends because and like you also know that in my conversation how many times you heard Alan's name, Paul's name, and Ina and Anna and Tina. And these are people who are part of my personality now. So how can I not uh, acknowledge and appreciate
Right,
and celebrate them, because they will be part of
right,
my
right,
my personality, my life,
right,
till the day I am here uh,
right,
on
right.
this planet. So it
Right.
is
See now.
something.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, it is something really. It is something really personal. It is about. It is not about to appreciate, to say, "Oh yes, you gave me something." No, it is about the mutual love we share, because
Yeah.
I simply love my friends.
Yes.
For people, it might not be the very big thing, but for me, it is. So
Oh,
for
I
me,
hear you. Oh, and it's not many, and those that are real are very, very precious, very, very precious. Yeah.
like you will. I don't know where life will go and take me or you, but you will be part of my personality, a big part of my personality.
Yeah.
From now on, like you are inside me, and I will always celebrate this, that yes, Olivia also, she is part of my personality now. Donna is also, she also become
Yeah.
part of my personality now. So wherever I will go, you guys will be with me always. So how can I not say that? Okay, no, how can I not mention you guys?
I
Uh,
agree.
Not to other people, but to myself also.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And it's how we do it. How we do it, because we also have to acknowledge that, yes, we learn new things from others sometimes, but also sometimes we come into contact with somebody who reminds us of stuff that we kind of know already, the obvious in us. And that's a different thing, right? So now it becomes kind of tricky because you say, I can't really say I learnt this from them because I didn't really. They just made me aware that I already knew it. You
This
see,
is what they say. Yes.
right? So we have to be a bit precise about things, and two, it's it's how you say. So what I recommended to Miles, I said, don't go around telling people, because when you tell in that way, you lose your magic, which was the magic of sharing your journey. And it started with his vulnerability. He was saying, I struggled with this, and I felt a narcissist, and I was a fuckboy, and I did horrible things, and all this stuff, right? Okay, that's
Mm.
one kind of vulnerability that you're sharing to say, I was a dreadful person. But now suddenly you sharing from a position like suddenly you've got it all together and you've got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And this is a problem. And not just is it a problem because it's kind of inaccurate, because you don't, because you've been in a situation where you've heard stuff that was like, whoa, it blew your mind. And it was way more than you had and you go in, basically, yes, he's taken a little bits from here and there and added it and used some words and conceptions, but he's not sharing the way of impeccability. He very even seldom even uses the word impeccable. So it's like, what the hell, dude? But anyway, beside that, share your journey. Part of his success, and he's the reason that he is an influencer on Instagram, is because he shared his journey, not the vulnerability. He shared his journey. He said, I was going through this. Now you're in a different journey. You're in the journey of awareness. You say, man, I was on this, I went to this workshop, and then it turned into a program and a course, and I learned all these marvelous new things, which I want to now bring into my life. And then you say, okay, so today I was thinking about one of the lessons, or I went over the recording or whatever. And today I'm like, really, this was the one where we talked about impeccability, or we talked about self-talk, or we talked about self-conception, or whatever. He could share the entire way of impeccability if he was going through, he could come on the sessions, and then he could make posts about what today's session was about. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, share your journey. You're now not saying this, now saying this is what resonated with me. Yes, we on the Zoom session today and we talked about impeccability. But you know what, really, for me, I have to say, yes, this wasn't a term I used before, but now I'm making it my own. So now this term impeccability, because it so deeply resonated and connected with me, it's now mine. Now you can claim it, but you are still sharing your journey, and you aren't saying this is. Do you see what I'm saying? I nearly called you Olivia now, Beena.
Oh
That
yeah.
here's the way to do it, that keeps him in that space where he's now not the guru know all, because you're going to bind yourself into a corner. He's giving advice left, right, and center, and people are going to start taking this. It's not always going to work, and then you're going to fall flat on your face, and it's going to be a problem. It doesn't work that way with people, that you just give advice and they take it and do this, do that. You have to basically have 100%. Oh wow, Beena, the woodpecker. This is not the same one. Oh, big bird just flew by. Oh, it looked like a seagull, but that's the biggest bird. It just was a quick glimpse, because when I saw your picture, I looked outside,
Yeah.
and it just literally came for a second. It was beyond this tree, but I've never seen such a big bird here. Wow, huh? It was kind of whitish.
Wow.
It almost looked like
Wow.
a seagull, like a big seagull. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's very interesting. That's very interesting. The woodpecker that's here doesn't. It's not pretty like this. He's just grey.
One of my FB friends shared this, and I just saw this, and I
Yeah.
shared with you.
Yeah.
It is kind of a blue color.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I don't see the blue here. It just looks
So
dark, but I can see how it could be. Yeah, yeah.
it looks like that your woodpecker and blue jay come
Combined.
together.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Very dark blue. The blue jays are lighter blue, but yeah,
Hmm.
wow, interesting. Yeah, the blue jays are very kind of a brightish blue, almost like a sky blue, almost. Not quite, but like almost like the Facebook blue color a little bit, but not really either. Anyway, you can look them up. Fascinating, fascinating, fascinating. Anyway, just intriguing. So, again, I'm coming back to Miles because it is about how we we change, how we learn, how we grow, especially in the context of how we do this from others. And for me, the issue is it's not about saying, "Oh, I learned this from so and so." No, say, "I learned this today. This is what I made my own today." That's the things to share. You don't have to attribute it. I don't have to have, for me, I don't care one iota, because it all comes from somewhere else and somewhere else. Yes, some things I figured out on my own. Yes, okay, those are original to me, but who cares? It's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, the moment you make it your own, it's original to you.
Yes.
So you can share. Say, I came into contact with a concept today. I became aware of something today. this is what comes to me. And that's the things that I'm saying for Miles. That's what I encouraged him to share in that way. This is what I'm hoping that you and Donna and Ryan and everybody will also share, to say, this really grabbed me today. This stuck with me. This really, I was thinking about it all day, and I made every effort to kind of figure it out. And man, in the end, I came to this, and this is what I'm changing. This is my resolution. This is my resolve. I want to learn to make the obvious obvious, because I see the power of it. I see the power of it. Why? And then you go into all the details of it. You see what I'm trying to say? Beena?
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
That's to me the process.
Hmm.
That's the only way this thing works, is if you share what you've come into contact with, and you share the process of you owning it, and you sharing that, hey, this is how I'm adding to myself. This is how I'm growing. This is how I'm learning. This is what I've changed into. This is what I'm determined to be from now on, and so on and so forth. In other words, you sharing your journey, right? Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'm here. I'm muting myself because there is so much noise
Oh, I don't hear
in the
any
background.
noise actually. So
Okay, okay.
yeah,
So no need.
no,
No
no,
need to mute myself.
no, no. It's fascinating. Sometimes when you don't think there's noise, then I hear noise. But like now, I don't hear anything in the background. It's not even static and stuff like that. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, very interesting, very clear. So who knows, Bina? Our stuff works. I don't know. It may just be that it overwhelms your microphone and it's forced to adjust and just pick up the local noise only. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know.
It always happened because when you said that Beena something is happening, and I said okay because I have my earphone, so I don't hear all these things, but you hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's interesting. I didn't see you with the earphone on yesterday. Did you have it on?
Oh, yesterday I was not having when
Ah,
I was talking to you.
right. So, if ever there's opportunity to get an actual headset like mine, with a microphone close to you like that, this would be good. Because when
Oh
you have
yes,
an earphone, do you have a microphone or not?
yes I have.
Oh,
Let's
but
call it.
it doesn't work. You said. I think you said. It's not. It doesn't come clear when you use it, or am I just mistaken?
Sorry, say it again.
I thought you used the headset microphone once upon a time, and when you used it, you were less clear than without it. So sorry.
I'm using all the time.
Oh, like using it now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. All right. Then I don't know. I'm the one who's cockeyed. Sorry.
No. Alan actually texted me and asking about Mama.
Oh, interesting. Oh, how about the knee and all that?
Oh yes, so he's saying that Beena just take her to the hospital for the X-ray, but she's insisting that I'm fine and she's
Yeah,
walking and that's it. Alan's
that's an American thing. They run to the hospital for every bloody small little thing.
but
Like,
Alan is extra careful.
yeah, I know, but still, you have a feeling, and when something needs more. I mean,
Yeah,
she's recovering. The thing's not a problem. She banged her knee. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know. They get overhyped with this stuff, and you got to
Oh
be
yes.
careful here too. So when you come to America, by the way, if you do fall down and say, and you hear somebody calling an ambulance, say no, 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 because it's going to cost you like $5,000 or more for that ambulance ride. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So no, call a Uber rather. Don't call a bloody ambulance. It's a lot cheaper. Yeah, it's
Uh huh.
ridiculously expensive.
Oh.
Isn't that something? So,
Oh
but yeah,
yes.
they overreact to stuff over here. It's like,
Oh
man,
yes.
alive. And they're so worried about lawsuits and stuff. We had when we were in the little mall in Capitola, it was in an old bowling alley that they converted, and it just had open ceilings. They just put drywall, made little
Mm-hmm.
stores with open ceilings. So they
Mm-hmm.
kind of made the little individual stores. But as you came in the entrance, they had nice wooden floors. They were like, let's see, maybe 4 or 5 steps. And every now and
Mm-hmm.
then somebody would fall down there. And then the manager of the little mall there, um,
Mm-hmm.
she would like, oh, are you okay? Is everything okay? It's like, oh. It's like, man, the person just stripped down. Just leave them alone. You making it fast like this is a big thing here now. Like she's so worried about a lawsuit. They fell of their own accord. It's like there's nothing wrong with the steps. They were just not paying attention, you know. Like, for heaven's sake, what do people do when they fall in nature? Are they going to sue God? It's like, for Christ. I was just fascinated by this nonsense, you know, just this overreactivity. And it's like, you got to make
But
a puff and a fuss about everything. So, come on.
but this is the thing in America. People
Alright.
do make money out of just suing people.
I know. But,
One
you
of
know,
my relatives,
it's a small percentage, you know.
Mhm. One of my relatives was sharing that if you are just carrying ice, so be careful. If you just single drop uh, drop there somewhere on floor, and especially Negroes, and if they are just walking by, they will fall and they will say, "Oh God, you just made
Yeah.
me slip
But
because you were carrying ice."
I mean, yes, it happens, Beena, but you know, it's very isolated, you know, and
Hmm.
it's not a common thing, you know. So
Okay.
it does happen. But again, you know, like this overreactivity of going to the hospital for every second thing. It's like, Jesus, man, you know, but that's also because of the advertising, you know, and I watch MSNBC, you know, which is a news channel. The adverts, every second advert is for some drug. Incredible. So, you
Hmm.
know, and you know, check
Oh
with your
God.
what was that? Bina, you okay?
I just muted myself because I was scrolling and I hit that video link and it just started
I
playing.
thought it sounded like you said crawling, not scrolling.
Scrolling.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're saying crawling, not scrolling. I thought I was crawling. It's like, hello, what the hell are you up to over there, Bina? What are you doing there? I thought maybe it was Farouk testing out um, his new TV
Yeah. Um,
sound system on his new TV.
uh-huh. No, they are doing good with that. And Donna texted me, and
Ah, brilliant.
she said that she will talk to you also.
Uh, let me.
And
I always check my I'll just send a smiley face in there. So
mhm.
yeah. I'm curious to know how it went. You know.
Yeah, she said that let me read this for you,
Uh,
so it will be good to understand. Uh, she said, okay. She said, "Good morning, Beena," and I said, "Yes, good morning, Rana." And she said, "So Beena, was wondering if you and Sil are having sessions where you go over the Way of Impeccability modules together. I would enjoy starting at one and doing a review with you and Sil, as I feel
yes.
we could do it quickly and still get the more capital, all caps, more out of them.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
feelings on that? Question mark. And I said, perfect, all caps. And she says, was hoping we can do it daily, if at all possible, if only for a half an hour or so.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
feel about that? Just want it to flow, feeling as though spontaneous is always appropriate and sometimes okay, always appropriate and sometimes momentum can lock things in for me. So I am looking for the daily momentum. And then she said, question mark. And I said, I'm ready from now on. She said, most cool. Um, we'll chat with Sil about it a bit later. Beena? And then she asked about, Beena, who is that a picture of your profile picture? Anyone you know personally? I said, no. But if you look at it closely, you will see how detailed this photo is. For me, it is more than just a cool pic. And then she asked, do you like Skylar Grey? I said, oh, yes. Do you like her song, Love the Way You Lie? Because I posted the link. I shared. And
All right.
she said, and I said, okay, well. if you know or look at my profile pictures and the songs with them, you will understand that the song itself is for some reason. And she says, this is the first I am aware there has been a song attached to the profile picture. Most interested in asking why this song? And I said, I
Ah, I
am.
love it.
Yeah. And then I said, like, I'm currently in a situation where I feel one or maybe two people are not showing the truth or showing their true self. So it is just an expression of situation I am dealing with. And she said, oh, thank you for sharing, Beena. Feel for me this is my own battle with truth of my being, capital B being,
Yeah.
my real self. So I
Um,
am letting
Beena,
those
Beena, can I
lyrics.
just pause you 1 second there?
So yes, please.
Just from a capital D diplomacy point of view, like where you said,
Hmm.
I feel like some people in my life aren't being their real self. When
Yeah.
you share something like that with somebody, for me, I always put the disclaimer in, not you, whoever the person is you're talking to, because inevitably they're going to assume it's them. They're going to take it, just like, oh, maybe it's me, maybe it's me.
Oh,
I'm just saying,
seriously?
yes, yes, almost inevitably that happens. Yeah. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh huh.
Uh,
But that was not the thing.
No,
This
no, I
was
know,
not.
I know, I know. That's I'm just making that as a little capital D diplomacy thing, just as a strategy thing, just to avoid potential problems. Now, it might not be, but earnest good people tend to think it's always about, if there's something wrong with something, they think it's them, because they don't want to
Oh
be
God.
considerate or thing. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what?
I will try to.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she says, okay, what about that?
You
Yeah.
still have a bit of the cold? I heard a sniff there. I'm assuming it's
Oh
not.
yes.
Okay. Well,
Oh
I'm just
yes.
checking it's the cold because it didn't sound like an emotional sniff, so I'm just checking.
No, 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 no. Yeah. And then she says, okay. Oh, thank you for sharing, Beena. Feel for me. This is my own battle with the truth of my being, my real self. So I am letting those lyrics just sit for a while with me to see what flows out. You are always so parallel, Beena.
Yes, yes, yeah,
There's many aspects, she said, many aspects of self that are being integrated and embracing them all. And then she asked me, Beena, why do you change your profile pictures so often?
yeah.
Uh,
It's a good question.
and I said, honestly, it's my best friend's, my mentor, Alan's
Wait.
idea.
Let me just pause you 1 second there again. If you
Yeah.
say honestly, it implies that you're not honest in general.
Oh, come on.
Oh yes, oh
It was
yes.
just
I
the way
know, I know, I know, I know. But that's the implication. So for me, I avoid saying that, or quite frankly, or any expression similarly, because that's the implication. And I know you are always honest.
Ah,
Uh,
okay.
you can rather say to be precise, or just go right into the thing. Why say honestly? It's redundant,
Hmm.
isn't it?
Hmm. Okay. And I said that honestly, it is my best friend, my mentor, Alan's idea. He do that, and I'm just a copycat. She says, haha, copycat. It is an intriguing idea that has multiple layers, I feel. That's it. This was the whole conversation we had. She was, yes, well, it happens this way every now and then that people ask me, why you change your profile picture so often? Uh, it was like two, three pictures in a day, but now I'm just making it because I'm not in a position to give more time on Facebook and doing things. So I'm just kind of making something like I don't know, uniform or something like, okay, one funny
Yeah,
post
yeah.
and one for my cover from newsboard or somewhere to a good picture. and with detail, and then a profile picture without having any obvious connection to things,
Yeah,
just my expression, and then a song with that. So this is what I'm doing because it takes less time. Otherwise, if I try to be more creative and more in
right,
bring more effort, so it will take more time. I
right,
don't want to use
right.
spend my time here. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
So my magazine, I call it my magazine, is like kind of a bit regular mood in things are getting more regular.
yeah.
One funny post, one song, one nice cover photo with some news detail with it. A bit, yes, a festival is happening. So yeah, so these kind of things, and a profile picture. So this is my regular stuff. Uh,
Yeah,
and
oh,
every now and then my status, yes.
yeah.
So
I'm
this is
keen
a
for you
format of my
to.
this is a format of my magazine on Facebook.
It's what?
It is the format of my magazine.
Yes, 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 yes. No, I love it. It's very fun. Except that your magazine needs some editorials.
Oh yes,
You know,
yes,
there's it's kind of all just no real depth and substance to the magazine right now. It's just
yes,
like the out, the cover and then the back cover, and you've got maybe a couple of middle spots, but you need where's the article, Beena? Where's the article?
oh yes, yes. You're right. It is missing.
Right, right. So that's why I was asking, what have you been thinking about, Beena? Yeah,
Oh,
specifically since we last chatted.
okay. I was actually thinking about two different things simultaneously. One is life in general, and one is how intuition, my intuitive mind, works and reacts in different situations.
Wow, wow,
Uh,
wow, wow.
because sometimes it is really surprising for me also that how my mind works and reacts.
Yes,
And
it's a fun discovery. Yeah.
again, so far, two elements missing in my life is one is boredom. I never feel bored,
Yeah, same here. I don't know how the hell
and
you managed to feel bored.
yeah, and one is surprise. And yeah, I don't know how. Yes, I felt that, yes, but very rare occasions in my life when I actually felt surprised. Wow, but these two things are missing in my life. I actually never. I don't want to be bothered about boredom because I know it's not fun. But
Right.
surprise, I think will be. It is fun, and my preemptive mind, if I'm saying it correctly, that it never allows me to experience, almost never allows me to experience surprise because somehow.
Yes. Yes. I like that. The preemptive mind, or anticipation mindset, same thing. It's very
Yeah.
powerful. Yes, exactly.
So I was thinking about how life in general is moving forward, or I don't know, moving forward, or be even sideways also. Who knows? Or maybe upward, downward, and in every direction.
Right.
Because life is not like a train or a plane just moving in a one direction. It is like an entity which evolves in every
Yeah.
dimension. So my
Yeah.
life is moving forward and upward and downward and backward and sideways also.
Wow. Wow. That's quite magical.
Don't you think that we grow and our life actually grow in our past also when we
Yes.
become
Oh,
adult?
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's all connected. I don't really, to me, I feel we are really in the bigger energy world. We exist. There is no time, and we just imagine stuff, and then we create the past and we create the future. but we create the past and we remember it, and now it becomes real, and we create this idea of time. But in reality, it's just an idea that there's time. It's not an actuality. So because of that, we have a connectivity to the past and the future, and everything. It's all muddled together. You know.
Okay, I want to write it down because this is something I want to discuss with you in more detail. So,
Yeah. Me too.
because this is something what I was thinking about. My today's today's
All right. I just also, by the way, Rachel just messaged me and she said she started to read the post about effort and reward, but she kind of not quite getting it. So she wants to discuss it, and she said, "Oh, I should go back and read it again." I said, "No, she's not quite getting it." And then said, "Oh, we can read it together." I said, "Oh, okay, she's on now." So I said, "Okay, I'll connect with you soon." She said, "As soon as you're ready." You know, I'm fascinated with this, Beena. Is it just me, or is this idea of the Zoom link being up and open, and all you have to do is just click on it anytime and you can connect? Am I communicating this poorly in some way, or am I missing something? Ah, you dropped off. Brilliant, brilliant.
Okay. You were saying something and I was missing
Say
something.
again. Say
Saying
again.
something.
No, I don't hear you. I just hear you
You
talking.
were saying.
Start again. Sorry. I don't know if you're breaking up or you're pausing.
No. I'm just saying that you were saying something when I dropped.
Oh, oh no, I was just saying about Rachel. To go. She wants to go the effort reward circle. So I said, I'll connect in a little bit, but I wanted to hear what you. This is the. I want to finish our what we're on. So were you?
Are you ready?
Oh no, no. I thought you were telling me a story. So you're waiting for me, and I'm waiting for you. Uh-huh.
Okay.
You were saying, Beena, I'm lost. Sorry, I'm distracted also, but I'm trying to get. Oh, did you just drop off? Yeah.
Sorry?
It's okay. You just went away and then you came back on again, so it's okay.
Oh, yes.
I'm trying to. I'm
Network
on.
connection.
Give me 1 second here. Let me just. Is it
Okay.
not? I'm just catching up on Olivia's posts because I share them to the page, and sometimes I share them to the group depending on the post. So I'm nearly done here. So.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to get back to it. So this is something that I realized too, Beena, that if there's no video to look at this person, then just the way my mind is trained a little bit, I tend to do other stuff while listening to you, and it's not a good thing. It's distracting, but it's difficult to stare at the little icon.
Blank
So
screen, of course.
yeah, yeah. Isn't that
Yes,
interesting
okay.
how our brain works?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it is.
Kind of silly. So
Yeah.
okay. So Rachel said, "No rush. I got loads of time." All right. And Rachel, it's not off time, it's of time. She keeps saying off instead of of. She's two F's and she keeps saying two with two O's instead of
Yes.
O. I, I,
Yeah.
I pointed it out and said, "Oh, I'm a grammar Nazi." Oh, well, if you're a grammar Nazi, then be a grammar Nazi. But I said get Grammarly, and she's not using the Grammarly. So Donna, uh, Donna said she'll be on at around uh, 2:15. You see, she gets home just a little bit too late. Just like that's the time you go sleep. So, I said, what time does she do lunch? Uh, uh,
I thought that Rachel's T double O thing is from Britain. I thought maybe, but
no, no,
I think
no, no. It's definitely not. No, no. It's just inaccurate. No, no. So, and I said to her, get Grammarly, because yes, you make long posts and I'm happy to read them. But, when you don't spell check and grammar check, it makes it stressful to read a little bit or just makes it slower to read.
but it is her language, her own language,
I know. That
and
doesn't mean that, that's very common that people are very unfluent in their own language. So.
well, I am. I can say that I speak very good Urdu.
Yeah. Well, people can speak it, but writing it is all different.
Writing also. Writing also.
I know, but that's you, Beena. You're not the usual person, so you just gotta realize that. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah. That's part of your awareness
But
is to realize that what's obvious and what you take for granted isn't so. The Rachel's grammar. It's very common if you just look on Facebook and that. People get caught in a bubble and they don't realize that their grammar is completely off. It's an interesting conundrum. I shared with her. I said, I shared it diplomatically, and I put little thingies to show. I put for two and two, and how to differentiate them, and of and off, and a little explanation of how to use them. Say, oh, I'm a grammar Nazi. I get you. I bet you she didn't even read it. So I'll put it again at some point.
that's okay. Uh, I just love her accent. The way she said that. Uh, that day she say, "Oh, Pina, I so love you," and I just like, wow, it's different.
See what? Say again. Sorry, you were clear before. Now I'm struggling to hear you, Bina. I don't know what changed.
Okay, now,
Uh, you have to speak a bit more. I just heard now.
okay, I'm saying that now it's better.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, not as good as it was before, but I don't
I
know.
don't know. Okay,
Isn't that
so
interesting how it changes? It's very interesting.
she said that I think we were on Zoom session, so she said that, "Oh, Pina, I so love you," and it was like,
Who said
wow,
this? Rachel or
Rachel, Rachel, yeah,
right. Well, why not?
it's her, it's her accent. It
I
is very
know.
beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. She has a beautiful heart. She struggles to own that beauty of her heart. So she gets sidetracked into stuff. But oh, hang on,
Okay,
hang
okay,
on. I think I
calm.
got somebody at the door. Hold on.
Okay, okay.
Not expecting anybody. It'd be unusual, but I'm not sure even if I heard the knock or not. One moment. So it was. Gosh, people knock so softly. I thought maybe it was the woodpecker. It's like I wasn't sure I'd heard it. Anyway, so it was a friend looking for Olivia. We're just going by. I said, I'm on the call, so all right. All right. I don't know. I just feel a bit lost again. I don't know where we were at. Oh, you know what? I think Bina, that conversation, the one, the one about you were saying about the time, yeah, that's
Oh
where we
yes.
were, and we kind of got sidetracked on lots of stuff from that. Um, make a note of that. That's a big conversation, and I want to get back into it. And yes, it would be good now, but I'm feeling just a bit of pressure to connect with Rachel, and I kind of want to connect with Sher as well. So I'm just going to say, okay, I'm on Zoom now. I want to just end the Zoom of ours, and then we just start another one. Come
Okay.
right back in again.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
1 second. Yeah. Okay. End meeting, and then come right back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.